Okay, this is the start of leveling the ground for shrimp tank number 2. It's 14 feet by a 46-foot tank, 6 feet deep. This is not speeded up film. This is the rate that this guy works at. This is Boyette. He's the foreman. He works as hard as anybody on his crew. What he's doing is he's separating the shoots off of this banana tree. They'll leave the central stem there as long as they can. They may get a harvest off of it, but he's transplanting the side shoots. Normally, we don't let them get this big because once we cut the main stem and harvest the bananas, that's just the next tree, and it gives it about a year's head start. And normally, if you're going to separate these, you do it when they're about 3 feet tall and 1.5 inches in diameter. But he's going to get this one out of the ground here shortly, and then we'll see what he does with it. It'll come up with roots on it. There's not a real extensive root system on a banana, but it seems to work for them. And he's just as strong as he looks. Golly. Taking a breath. I see that. Yeah. Basically, you cut down with your bar right between where the banana and the shoot meet. You're really trying not to damage the main banana. If you tear it up too much, it may not set all the fruit all the way. Here we go. Come on. I thought it showed him getting it clear out of the ground, but apparently that's a different little video. But here he's got them out of the ground. He's salvaged 2 of them. He put them under a tree that's back by the cistern. It's just to the left of this. There's not a whole lot of shade trees back there, so that's where he's carried it. Now he's trying to figure where to put it. This is your basic bolo grass cutting. So he's going to clear him some spots to dig to plant those bananas. They roll it up in a ball like that as they cut it. And sometimes they can burn it right on the area where they're cleaning, and sometimes they take it out front. We have a place that's been burned on many times, and it's not likely to spread a fire. If it does, it only burns us, won't spread to the neighbors. The mound is getting bigger. Here, he's got that halfway cleaned up. I think he's showing now that he's planting them. That's what these cleared out places are, probably. Different view of the same area. He's digging for another one right now. He'll put it in the ground. You don't dig a very big hole for these things. The root ball is really small. He's making a banana grove back here out of the ones we just absolutely have to dig up. Okay. This is Boyette again with the orange hat. Wears a hard hat all the time. Pennell was the one leaning over with the blue shirt. And I think that's Elijah, is his brother, with the burgundy shirt standing up there. What they're building is a tripod that they're going to put a sheave on it for a big piece of rope. And then they pull buckets of stuff out of this hole, just like they're digging a well. But they're digging up the cistern. There's a concrete slab been poured 2 years ago under the ground, and they're going to find it and put a tank on top of it. There's other videos about that tank construction, but these are pictures that my wife hadn't deleted. She deletes the crap out of all my pictures. But what the boards that they're both holding, you see those dark streaks across them? Those are notches cut into boards, and those are spacing for various beams that we used in the house. And there's notches on the other side, on one of the edges probably. There's at least two sides that have notches on all the notch boards. You cut more than that, they break in too because it's nothing left. But that's like spacing floor rebars. You put two of those down, throw the rebars in it, put the ones that go 90 to them, and you have a different set of notches. Can be the same, but rarely are. And that'll make that grid pattern. Looks like a big piece of screen. And then they put the concrete biscuits under the rebar, flip these notch boards down flat on their sides, and they slide right out. Well, not right out, but they do come out. But we call those notch boards. And I'm not sure what this one is because the spacings are so far apart. They're probably the beams up here on top of the, you can't see it. Oh, let me tilt it. I can't do that either. Yeah. Up here there's a beam. It's 24 inches tall and 14 inches wide. Being 14 inches wide means that these notches can be up to 14 inches apart. That's the maximum you're allowed by Philippine code is the narrow dimension on the beam. So that means ours are probably about 12 and a half. We don't really push the 14 inches. This is the think part. I think I'll run these pictures in reverse, but he's probably telling them what it looks like, what their building looks like, and this thing they're holding here, it's got a piece stuck on the side of it, I think. Or maybe that is the full height. These things bolted onto the side of the forms when we poured all this ring of walls around the house. And the diagonal brace kept this square, and the fact that the base is on the ground kept it plumb to the concrete slab, which is level. And so we didn't use a level on the house anywhere, and we didn't use a square. I didn't know how to use a square is called a squala. I didn't know they were really good with a square. I knew they were good at plumb bob, but I didn't do a square. We did plumb bob the columns. I'm not sure we got them perfect, but we got them plenty good enough for us. He's coming along now. They've got it partially together. It's closer together up at the top than it looks in this. You can tell from where he's holding it. It's that width at the top, and you can see down at the bottom down here in the hole that it's about 10 feet wide down there. He's looking at the guy with the camera to see if he's going to take a picture. Okay, they got the sheave hung up here at the top. Got a rope, and the hat's Benji. He wears it every day, and what his job today is to dig a hole someplace, and find the concrete. And then find the edge of the concrete and dig a hole big enough for a 5-gallon bucket off the edge of the concrete. And that'll let them put the sump pump in and get rid of this foot of water that's still in the hole. I don't see the sump pump yet, so I think they're just took a picture of him digging. You got a guy pulling up, a guy carrying away. They throw the buckets back down. Now we got Benji and somebody in blue. It takes two guys in the bottom to fill the buckets about as fast as they can haul them up. They're going to end up with a pile of dirt in the middle to take out that's about 9 to 10 feet deep and 15 feet across. because later on we decided we wanted to get these walls in the ground before rainy season, at least one ring on our slip forms. And once we're 4 feet high, there's not much chance of mud washing back in and filling the complete hole up. It's sort of a duplicate picture. I don't know. Voter certification. I guess he's trying to get Aurora to help him with something on that. Okay, this is a place out front we do a lot of burning. This is the last remnants of a gravel pile. Starts out about 6 times that big. We buy the gravel as much as 42 cubic meters on the big truck. We like that big truck. It self-dumps. You don't have to shovel it off. The other 5-axle truck, the sides fold down. They shovel it off. It gets under the tires, and the truck is just mired down and stuck. But they're cleaning this up, probably getting a delivery of sand, because I know that after it was taken, there's sand comes 38 cubic meters to the truck, and there's 2 truckloads of sand sitting there a week or 2 after that. You'll see these stairs are starting to look crooked. They talked to us about it, and we declared them junk, condemned them, and told them just to stop. Get 2 guys on electric screw guns and dismantle those stairs before they do another darn thing. So these stair treads are what they call good wood. They could be things like Nara and things that don't rot. The sides are some forms we use for the spider beam. There's 2 of them end to end, so that's 12 and 24 feet, and about 4 on the ends. That staircase is 28 feet long. The wide things on the side, that's where we run the wheels on when we take the mixers up and down off the roof. So we're going to have to replace this with something, but I'm going to do it in concrete next time. But I'll make them portable, where we can drag them out of the way with the truck. But we're going to put concrete stairs in. This is the 3rd set of construction stairs. A couple of months and the bugs just carry them away. They eat the phenolic board. That was a real surprise. Usually it just delaminates, but you put it out there and leave it out overnight, and they just have at it. There's bananas over here. I think they're going to have a harvest on 2 stalks of it, and the rest of them we're just going to dig them up. Because we left a gap in our gutter here because those were growing there, just to let them go to harvest. And we're to the point now we want to fill that piece of concrete in. It's about 2 feet by 5 feet. So those bananas will be coming out of there. I think there's a stalk on 2 of them. And there may be a stalk on this one. But they're going away because they were just too close to the house. They planted them for me because they heard the foreigner liked the tropical look, and it was just so barren. Nothing grows on this land except bananas will grow, okra will grow, and cassava. That's it. And weeds. We can grow bumper crops of weeds. I think my new stairs are going to go right here to concrete stairs. This is a post for the house. It's 32 inches wide. It'll hold a set of stairs. Let's see who we got here. Okay. I think this is the cistern. I can see forms over here. It looks like they've done... That might be the first pour on the cistern. It's going to end up... the cistern is going to end up even with the gutter. It'll be 11 feet walls on it when it gets done. I know it's not the second pour because the amount of rebar that's sticking up here. The concrete is going to come up on that rebar. It's going to come up to every other one of them will be just under the end of the edge of the concrete, and the other ones will stick up 18 inches. We cut the bars off of the center and didn't make them all the same because these ones sticking up are going to get bent over into the lid. But we wanted that closer spacing down where the water was. So like a 18-foot or 19-foot 6-inch bar, we cut it 9 inches off center. That made this piece 18 inches longer than the ones that go in between. It uses 100% of the bar and puts it where I want it. I don't think you can. Can you pause this video? Maybe. Thought I could get a picture. No, it has a place for pause, but it doesn't pause. As this thing is spinning back and forth, you might see a bunch of bags of rock and sand on the ground. Those are pre-staged. The mixer is as close as they can put it to the hole and still walk around it. And they bring the cement down the day of the pour. It'd be in the house until then. Makes me dizzy watching that. Oh, here's a picture we can look at. This is a form that's been cut in probably 3 pieces. You take a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you build a house stud wall on it, and on the back you have a third of a sheet, 16 inches, a 16-inch gap, and 16 inches. It adds up to 48. Originally, it was 8 feet long this way. These holes you see here are 4-inch hole saw. That's to get in and put wrenches and ratchets and stuff like that on the bolts that held this form to one that was sitting beside it. There was like 5 pieces of this when we do a wall. We already had 24 foot of form. We built the entire house with the same 24 feet. Used them 36 times. But those are access holes for the bolts that we added after we've been working with extensions and electric wrench through this open 16 inches here. But it just, it took a while, and we were trying to pull these forms in one day, put them back in a day. The rebar goes up in about 20 minutes. There's a lot of rebar, but it was all pre-tied. My wife painted the top of the house white and got a 90-degree grid laid out on it for the rebars, and then the notched boards actually set the rebars. And she had a piece of plywood cut in a circle for the shape of the window. So the bars that didn't go top to bottom, they would just take them over there, mark the top, and where they crossed that plywood, which was like 1.5 inches bigger than the actual hole. And then they had a rebar shear, and they just cut it off, put the other piece on the top, cut off the excess, made them all the same height. And then we used those short pieces all over the place too. There's virtually no extra rebar after this house is done. Anyway, this is a far away look at a piece of the form. We've gone to slip forms now. I was going to save these forms, but money's tight, and the foreman is plenty smart. He knows what we're going to do. This was the shaky videos. This is everything sitting still. You'll notice our mixer is not mired down axle deep in dried concrete. We don't have to come in here with jackhammers and sledgehammers and chisels and pointed bars and stuff and bust concrete away from the tires, because we move the thing about every 3 pours. It's gone someplace else, so it never has a chance to build up like that. We don't do all the mixing on one spot only and then carry the concrete clear across the yard and up onto the roof. We're working on the roof. The mixer's on the roof. There's one up. There's another mixer. It's on the top roof right now. As you can see, we don't have a giant crew when we're pouring concrete. There'll be a guy helping this guy. There's probably 2 guys working this. One's carrying rock, one's carrying sand, and the rock guy's carrying the bag of cement. And you have a guy that stays there by the rock and sand if it's gets to be 30 feet away from the mixer. They both grab the bag and jerk it up, and then when they get it on his shoulder, then he walks off with it. But the guy helped him pick it up. He stays there, and they come to him. He's at the rock and the sand. So when he get back, they just toss him down in here and pull the bag back out. Elijah over here looks like he's filling buckets of water. And Oriole, he's probably going to be involved in carrying it away when they tilt it back down. I think on this tank, Bia was the one doing the catch off of the mixer. They did like 36 to 40 bags, like 40 on the first ring, which is 4 feet high. Then when you slip the forms, you don't get 4 feet the second time. You get 3 feet 6. Anyway, the bags goes down, and we bet on it. Everybody gets a shot at the bet. Half a bag interval. Don't bet the same number, because what they did the first year is they all bet the same number. Everybody won. We paid them all. So this year, this time they have to actually pick a number, and so they're getting pretty good at that. There's always somebody right on the money, and everybody's really close. This is the Nana, his first picture today. He runs the mixer. He knows. He throws some water in, lets the gravel go in, lets it scrub the drum clean. Then he throws sand, then cement, and finishes off with the other stuff. And once he's got that first almost 5 gallons of bucket water in there, he splashes some in about twice, and he comes up with a nice dry concrete mix, just enough that you can get it into forms and rattle something around and get a surface on it. But we don't have any sloppy over full water. The bags, we just throw them in a heap, and then somebody will get Elijah to take in stuff 19 bags into another one. That we have a 20 count to deal with. This is Penn Hill. He looks a lot like Al. Can't hardly tell them apart. My wife thought that these things would get full of concrete being down in the forms, these 5-inch ABS pipe. We spent 3 days back and forth trying to tell them where these things go. They don't go in this wall they're in. The one he's got there, other than should be up about 20 some inches from where he's holding it. It's at least in the right place, left to right. It's just not right up and down. And we finally gave up, and this had them pour it. And we ended up with the pipes over here at that height. So I'm gonna have to make a hole when I get there. She told him, hold that pipe and don't move until I figure out if it's in the right place. So that poor guy had to stand there about an hour and a half while she was on Messenger trying to figure out what was going on. This one on the right, it may not be too far off, because this tank is that will be 7'6". I think we added a 14-inch a single slip on the slip forms above this, one bolt hole up. So that may not be too far off. I still think it's low, but we'll find out. This is the sea of bags with a walkway down the middle. Sometimes they put rock on one side of the path and sand on the other, but the preferred method is 5 columns wide, 3 and 2. And the advantage of that is you don't end up with 4 rock and 2 sand sometime. Once you get a mix screwed up, there's not much you can do with it. You can hide it in a floor, but you can't hide it in a wall. Okay, this is the last 14-inch pour, and there's like 6 of those across the end. Those are for air circulation. One of our digesters is aerobic and one's anaerobic. And you can see the second slip on the forms, that's the top of it. And they've got it some bolts stuck in the holes through the holes of the top row of the previous pour. Okay, that's when they were showing us that they added a bar over top of the black pipes. They're going to lift that up when they stick it. When they, it's not wired on right now. They're just wanting to know if that's where it goes. But they'll pick it up to 3 bar diameters. Is it 3? Yeah, from the surface of the concrete. So it'll be 1.5 inches from the edge, the top surface of this bar here. From that to the finish on the concrete would be 1.5 inches. And to the center of it would be a quarter more, be 1 3/4. But this 5-inch pipe is ABS, is for sewage, and it is about half the price of the orange PVC. Now we're going to put an orange PVC pipe, a 4-inch pipe, right through that. But the black ABS, we would have saved a bunch of money over time if we knew about that it was that much cheaper. It's like we didn't know the phenolic board was not much more than regular plywood, which is pretty much one use. Okay, this is not going to do us any good here. This is procession carriage. I don't know if they have a picture of the carriage. The stuff on the ground is the carriage from last year. Talk about disintegrate. You think the Lord would watch after his stuff better. Anyway, we're starting to gather up bags. This is out there where they fill them, because you can see the stuff on the ground. And this slightly over large piece of gravel right here. Another view of they'll fill up 200 bags, and then they'll get everybody together and move them all at once. Okay, this is what they call straws. That's the verse to string, which is the white or yellow nylon mason's twine. They're laying out this 48 feet by 14-foot hole. This one is the back. I know that because the front one hadn't had the banana trees cleared yet. That's the foreman boy without the hard hat. Pink dress is his daughter. She's 11 that day. In the back row's her friends. I'm not sure who this must be a brother or sister, one of the friends. Duplicate, I guess. Hold the button down. Okay. Now we're back to the septic tank. Well, we decided to put those partitions in it this week. Just give us a break from bigger pours. This is 32 inches wide, this space. And that would be 4 feet high. It looks like it was a form they had used on the extra forms for the other things they've made. So they just set it down in there. I told them if they had to make it 8 feet high, make it one pour, but apparently they had that. Okay, what they're showing us here is there's a bar of concrete here. Okay. This piece with the rounded off cap on it, that's the full height of that wall. Above that is airspace. Air comes in, say if it's blowing from this end, it'll come down this side of the wall and it'll go out the holes on the other end. If it comes from the other end, the wall divides it and it goes out this side and that side. And the purpose of the wall is we don't want to splash any of that floating scum from the first digester into clean water. This water when you get to the fourth chamber down here, in a pinch you could drink it. It's a sewage treatment plant more than a septic tank. But this big space here is 14 inches. It's air circulation. Has to be 25% the height of the tank. Of course, nobody follows codes, but that's what the code would say. I think it does say, actually. But there'll be a trap door into this one, because you could have to pump that out some year. But you can put a ladder down there to get down there if you're doing shoveling stuff over to the pump that's taking it out. But you can put the ladder over here and look over this wall with a flashlight and see how you're doing on the second digester. And you could pull the hose through there, but there'll be a hole for the hose on the second and third one. The third one here is it's got a glass blocks like you put in bathroom windows or whatever, or beside front doors. That lets light into here, and the UV is part of the treatment. It kills bacteria. I'm thinking they're showing me that they've drained the oil and changed it on the mixer. They see some run on the frame there. We like to do that about every 40 things. When Bia paints the rebars, first coat is white, second coat is the same white with a little bit of red or some other color thrown in it. Now the difference in the second coat colors is they're different functions. They go different places or they go in different projects. So this one on that you can't see the color on here is actually slightly pink. And you see some on Sawhorses in the next room, they're slightly green. So she bends the bars, paints them, and then moves to another room. She's got 31 rooms to work with. This pile of debris here, this is that open space in the gutter that we have to pour concrete in. That's in front of the house. And then that little bit of dirt there, a banana came up in it. So it'll get moved. And that's looking at it from a different direction than another banana that came up. Okay, this is a shrimp tank number 1. I told them to make sure they knew that there was 4 inches of forms on around the outside of that slab, because we were going to use forms on the slab even though it's down in the ground. We didn't necessarily use proper forms on all the other slabs, but this one, I thought we kind of keep better control on it. So what they're doing is they're taking 4 inches all the way around this to make room for the forms. And this is leveled with a hose with water in it. And boy, it does that. So I gave them a transit, and we